Hello, loves, the Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shawna L. Francis. It's the weekly briefing, and it is May 7th, 2024. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for coming back after last week's channeling on Biden and Trump. Wasn't sure who'd show up for this one today, but you're here. We're all here together. We're just going to get through this information the best that we can, and we're all learning together as we go. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been a day. I have been working with Melchizedek for like 9-10 hours. I don't even know. I've lost track. It's 20 till 11 p.m. here tonight in the Portland area. And I think I started working with Melchizedek at 11:30 this morning. And I've been in and out of meditation and channeling with them ever since. So it reminded me today reminded me of some of those days with Queen Elizabeth where there would be hours where nothing was said, and I would get so anxious and antsy and just and Melchizedek had to say, hey, you really need to be patient here with the Queen. Anyway, so it was kind of one of those nights where some information would come through and then it would stop, and like literally an hour would go by and it'd be like, I gotta go to the bathroom, I need to get something to eat. So I'd come back, and so finally we made it through tonight's channeling, and it's not a great one. I mean, of course it's all good information, it's all everything that we need to know, but it's hard to hear it. And I was just wondering, how is Melchizedek going to follow up to this Trump and Biden video we made last week? How do you follow that? And I really had no idea, but I did sense that they were working pretty hard at it today and wanting it to be right, and they did confirm that. So, yeah, I'm tired. It's late. It's been a long day, but here we are, and I'm going to just go through this. So this is what initially came through from Melchizedek tonight. And sorry for this little frog in my throat already. All right. Thank you, Shawna. Thank you so much for your patience. Sometimes we want to do our due diligence before speaking, knowing that this audience has high expectations for our work together, dear one, and with the utmost integrity. Authenticity, honesty, the truth as we know it, dear one, being articulated in the best ways that we know how. First of all, this is to help spread awareness of the atrocities that are happening on Earth today, while at the same time accommodating your oftentimes fragile emotional natures. Also, to be nurturing, a loving guide to each of you, balancing the need to be thorough and complete with the information while not being overly complex or burdensome. We are always striving, dear one, to strike a balance with what is being presented and how it is being presented. And there are times when it takes us extra effort and focus to determine exactly what we want to say. So again, dear Shawna, we thank you for your patience throughout this process today. And I'm just thinking to myself, I wasn't very patient, but I'm glad that you think so. Thank you. I mean, thank God these guys love us unconditionally. I was like, team. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into this. Dear ones, where we'd like to take you next will feel a little painful. Not that so much of what you've heard in the past few years hasn't been painful already, but now today, in this moment, the energy is ready. Consciousness here is ready for the next level of disclosure. We were testing the waters with the information provided about President Trump and President Biden and former President Trump. Excuse me. We watched very closely as you heard those words and you felt into them, and we observed as you assimilated that information, questioning your own beliefs, your own opinions, and your own wishes about these two men. Today is a bit different. We take a light touch approach. We will ease into this next round of information. And this is not only for Shawna's well-being, but of course for all of you as well. We're building layers of understanding. We work with the collective consciousness with the highest regard, with honesty and integrity, and with purity of heart. We pushed this dear one to the edge tonight as we took our time to formulate this story for you. They continued. Amnesty for the people of Earth will come at great cost. Some of you may feel like you've been on the bow of a warship, watching and waiting as land comes into view, a land where you know you will have your first large-scale battle. Some of you have been on this ship so long, you don't even think about it any longer. You barely recognize it. You can scarcely remember why you got on the ship in the first place and what motivated you to want to be a part of this war. The days have grown long and you've grown tired. Some of you may even feel a little battle weary, even though the most challenging situations are yet to come. Yeah. They switch gears here a little bit. Excuse me. Sometimes the foundations were built with such poor designs, on faulty premises, flimsy and unsound from the very beginning. Institutions and programs built in such a manner will be the first to go. They are vulnerable, they are shoddy, and sometimes, dear friends, it's so bad that absolute and complete destruction, being razed down to the ground, is the only way forward. You will see in many situations that a complete teardown is required. A brand new start, a fresh start with new ideas, new designs. It'll be very difficult, if not impossible, to fix what's already in play or try to make it better with add-ons and patches. The dismantling of these institutions and programs will be painful, dear ones. You've grown very accustomed and reliant upon these institutions, and this was by design. In some cases, the facades are indeed crumbling, and what has seemed as something impenetrable, omnipresent, and unbreakable will come tumbling down like a house of cards. Some of these institutions, such as the financial system, have helped provide structure. Some have helped provide meaning, such as religion. You know from history that it's taken thousands of years to develop and build out these two institutions, meticulously, conscientiously, and deliberately shaping and controlling human life through programs such as these. Imagine, if you will, they said, a world where these two systems have been razed and no longer exist in the ways you've known them. And the way that they evolved previously, know that, dear ones, the types of frequencies on Earth today and the level of consciousness present in these times will not support the rebuilding of the infrastructure in the way that it was. It simply will not be possible. Rebuilding in the old way will not be possible. Okay, we'll take a little bit of a breather here. So they're talking specifically about the financial system, I imagine, on a global scale, and the religion system, if you want to call it that, religion, formalized religion. These two things are just a massive part of our everyday lives for the most part around the world. It's taken thousands of years to create these programs, and sounds like it's not going to take thousands of years for these things to go away. But what's nice is that what they're saying is they cannot be maintained the way they are, and they're not going to be able to be rebuilt in the old ways because the frequencies here and our level of consciousness simply won't allow it. All right. That being said, they continued, you can imagine the disarray and the chaos and confusion until a new system can arise from the ashes. Dear ones, while we have said many times that this is a time for celebration, many of you will be challenged to maintain a celebratory mood while you're in the middle of this breakdown. I want to also add the Galactic Federation of Light, when I channeled them for 100 days straight here a few years ago, also part of this YouTube channel, they talked a lot about this kind of thing, and Melchizedek has as well. And I think, it's definitely on people's minds. It's a big deal. A lot of channelers are talking about this kind of thing, the collapsing of our financial systems. And you look at what happened in 2008 with the whole housing crisis and that whole thing with Enron, and you look at what happened with Y2K, the year 2000, and all that chaos. I mean, and we've had big plunges in like the stock markets, and we've seen how small little things and decisions by key people can impact the entire global financial system. So, and imagine the chaos and confusion until a new system can be built, is what they're saying. This is going to be tough. And here's what they recommend. What we recommend is that you strive to keep the bigger picture always in the forefront of your mind. Also know that there are specific people, specific energies, specific beings who are charged with rebuilding, redesigning, reformulating these programs from a higher state of consciousness. This will be a slow process in your linear time frame, but it is necessary. All right, specific energies and beings and people already kind of lined up to build these things out from a whole different level of consciousness. Okay, this is a good thing. Remember that with the collapse of such cemented institutions comes a great release of power, comes a release of great power. And without that power, new ideas can emerge. New ways of being can be made manifest. And we say there will be aspects to the new structures that you have not yet even imagined. We mean this in a positive way. You'll have the good fortune of bringing together the best and the brightest minds from across the cosmos, from across higher dimensions, to help formulate the new. And dear ones, you'll be blown away by what is truly possible. And they said, this is what we wanted to say for today, dear ones. Shawna, it has been a long day for you. However, we would entertain questions if you have them. I had so many questions as they were speaking, and really by the end of it, after several hours of working through this channeling with them, finally it came together pretty quickly at the end. There was just a lot of kind of false starts with it, but I did ask a couple of follow-up questions here. I said, thank you so much, Melchizedek. I said, we've been hearing about these pending crashes of all of our institutions for quite a long time. I said, it's a big part of the ascension story, a tear down and a rebuilding. I said, what we don't really know is timing, and if there's anything that we can do to prepare for it. Yeah, it's, these are $1 million questions, and a lot of people have asked these questions throughout the years, and a lot of channeled, I think, answers have come. Here's what Melchizedek had to say. And I said to them, I'm specifically thinking about the financial institutions because they're so ingrained in everyday life for us. Everything runs on commerce. Everything is digital. Can you please comment? Thank you. Excuse me. Yes, dear one, they said, thank you for the questions. Yes, the crumbling of these institutions is germane to building this world based in unity consciousness at a fifth dimensional level. All facets of life will change to accommodate this. While it may not happen tomorrow, it is inevitable. We anticipate it on the horizon. We see signs of it coming. That being said, so much is still unknown in this moment, and the consciousness of humanity as a whole has a great bearing on the when and on the how. Heard this a lot before too from our teams. Excuse me. In terms of preparation, first we say, please keep your fear in check. Keep your vibration top of mind. Resist acting from a place of fear. Resist any urges to panic or to be weary or to run and hide. The human spirit is resilient, and when put to the test, humanity's emotional nature and capacity for immense love shines through. Resist the urge to project doom and gloom. Resist the urge to feed into that narrative. Choose an experience that is driven by love and service, inclusivity and unity. Inclusivity and unity. And they said here, this world is exceptionally abundant. There is plenty for all in need. Trust in the human spirit to remain resilient, to come together in harmony and love. You may be the beacon for this way if you so choose it. Okay, it's imminent. They're not going to give us timing. A lot of the timing's out of their control. A lot of the timing is in our control as humanity. We really are the ones to make this happen. They are simply our guides. The GFL has said this many times also, and they also have said this is not a rescue mission. You know, we are support staff for what you've chosen to do on higher levels. Still, though, so hard to hear from Melchizedek. It's like, oh, here it comes again. Now, I just think about my family, and I think, what should I do? Trying not to be in fear, of course. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information coming. Yeah. All right. I had another question for them. I said, thank you, team. I said, you said that there's going to be specific people and beings and energies who will help rebuild the new system. And I'm thinking again about the financial system. I said, we've heard a lot about JASARA and NASARA. These are acronyms for this new community-based financial system. It's been a while since I've looked into this, so I can't speak intelligently about it, but I did want to ask because the GFL has, to me personally, mentioned JASARA and NASARA many years ago as being a good model. I said, these ideas have been around for a while, and you said that we can't even really imagine how the new is going to be. I said, what about these two things? What about crypto or anything else? I said, is there anything here that's salvageable or anything that we can do to help spread awareness for these new systems? They said, thank you for the question, Shawna. JASARA, NASARA, cryptocurrency, bartering, and other community-based systems all have their merits. They all have their positive opportunities. At this moment, we can't say for sure exactly what this new financial system is going to be like. Future generations will help determine this. The best minds will come together, taking advantage of millions and millions of years of evolution. Certainly, parts of these programs may be part of the new solution, but we'll just say again, likely there will be aspects that you have never even dreamt about nor conceived up to this point. I think that's pretty exciting. And I pretty much ran out of steam at that point. I said, okay, thank you, team. I said, that's all for me. And then they said that was all for them as well. All right. Yeah. We're feeling a little battle weary, and we're really just getting started with some of the tougher stuff. And remember that we are in the awareness phase of this disclosure here. Awareness. So it's, we're seeding consciousness with this information. Me, along with many other channels, many other people out there who are receiving downloads, activations, messages, energies, working with their teams of light. It's just, I still find it so incredibly awe-inspiring and mind-boggling that this is how this is going down. It is a lot of telepathy. It's a lot of channeling. It's like, these beings are coming to our rescue from outside of our local consciousness to help educate us and prepare us for what's coming, and really letting us know, hey, you've said yes to this. All of you have said yes to this ascension. And it's a big deal. And yeah, it's 1,000 years out here, but we've got to start now, because we want as many of you, as many of humanity as possible to come along on this journey. And we have to start here. We're starting with disclosure. So much of the planet has absolutely no clue about the negative reptilian regime. We're still going to be the absolute crazy ones who even entertain this as being a possibility. I mean, for all of us here who have been watching this channel and part of this community, we know this very well, and it's very, authentic to us. This is truth for us. And before my channeling, I would have never believed this. And, when this kind of thing came up, I'd laugh. I'd say, there's no way. There's no way. And I'm certainly not saying that now, 5.5 years into this journey with everything that's come through. And I'm all in, I'm all in for this. And I know many of you are as well. And if you're not, if you're just still dipping a toe in, yay for you. We've just got to start somewhere. And I know this is extremely hard. And, nobody wants to talk about, global financial systems failing and collapsing. What do we do in these situations? What do we do here? These are definitely going to be things that I'm going to be thinking about as well. How can we maintain our peace of mind and yet be prudent, So more to come, guys. It's definitely going to be something I'm going to be working on too personally. So again, thanks so much for being here, guys. Thanks for subscribing, for commenting, for supporting this team, for supporting this planet's ascension. This is tough stuff. This is not for the faint of heart, as our guides have said so many times. All right, I'm going to call it a day. I love you. I will see you next week, if not sooner. Mwah.